Mic check, mic check. Hello, let's get this party started. My name is Jeff Oliver, if you don't know who I am or have received many emails from me, Head of Media Operations for Tracktown USA. If you have any questions about credentialing or the such, I'm the person to come to. If that question is about parking, I don't want that question. We're out, I know it's tight, I feel your pain. We're doing the best we can. I'll pass the mic off here in a second, but first I want to introduce my new friend, Bryn. Bryn, come up here for a second. Bryn here is the future famous photographer of our sport. And if you aren't already following her on Instagram, I just wanted to give her a moment to get some new followers. What's your Instagram handle?
Brynstagrammy. It's BRYN and then just the rest of like Instagram. So.
All right, go find her. Maybe I'll send another email about that. But go follow Bryn. She's awesome, and she's going to be amongst us all week here at the Pre-Classic. So, all right, go get set up so you can take some pics. All right, let's start our new tradition here, the Thursday press conference at the Prefontaine Classic. I would like to introduce the CEO of Tracktown USA, Michael Riley.
Good morning. On behalf of my colleagues, Co-Meet Director John Capriati and Deputy Meet Director Jody Smith, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone today. This year's Prefontaine Classic, the third stop of the Wanda Diamond League, is poised to really be a magical show for those in the stadium and everyone watching in the broadcast around the world. Through the tremendous support of our title sponsor Nike, the Diamond League's partners Wanda and Omega, our sports governing bodies USA Track and Field and World Athletics, and the outstanding professionals at the University of Oregon, we will be welcoming many of the world's greatest athletes to Tracktown USA. This weekend kicks off an unprecedented 8-week run of spectacular international track and field in our community. From the Prefontaine Classic to the USATF Outdoor Championships, where the world's #1 team will be selected, to the World Athletics Championships Oregon 22. It is easy to see why this is the greatest track and field year in the history of Oregon. Friday night's program will really be a party at the Pre. Our team has worked very hard to create an entertaining atmosphere under the lights of Hayward Field. We will have an infield viewing experience, an initiative we're calling Lane Zero, targeted at the next generation of track and field fans. We're bringing the DJ down onto the infield. We've choreographed spectacular athlete Hollywood-style entrances for each of the races. And through a great collaboration with the University of Oregon's Warsaw Center and their student leadership team, we are going to be inviting all fans to join us on the track for a world record attempt at the largest game of Duck, Duck, Goose. All of that is being done to enhance the real stars of the show, the athletes vying to make Team USA and those aiming to run faster than anyone ever has. There will be a lot to enjoy on Friday night, whether you're coming to Hayward Field or you're watching it on USATF.tv. And now, it's my pleasure to welcome today's host and an individual who has been instrumental in creating so much Hayward magic at many events in Tracktown USA, Paul Swangard.
Thanks very much, Michael. Everyone, you can sit down now. Thank you for that standing ovation. Really appreciate it. I guess this is technically the pre-conference, since we have a second one tomorrow, and so today's focus is on mainly the Friday night program, which is a blend of the USATF trials for the World Championships at 10,000 meters and 3 races to end the night with some talented individuals seeking to place their name in the record books, in some cases for another time. Hayward Field has always been a magical place. I've been fortunate for the last 30 years to be the main stadium announcer, and whether I'm doing that or working for NBC, I'm just always amazed by the environment we can create for these events. And I think, in echoing what Michael said, I think we're in store for some fun over the course of this upcoming weekend. It's also so great to see so many familiar faces again. There was a few of you who made it here last summer, post-Tokyo, when we had a chance to have the Prefontaine Classic in an unusual spot on the calendar in August, but back to our regular schedule here early on in the Wanda Diamond League season. So for those who haven't yet been able to get over to the reimagined Hayward Field, I hope when you turn on Agate, you'll be blown away as we were all during the process of that construction. I also want to note that this is the largest contingent of press that has been credentialed for a Prefontaine Classic. That is an amazing thing. And I'm also very excited as I look around the room that the average age of those credentialed media has suddenly dropped dramatically, which is a good thing for our sport. There's a wonderful program that has been launched in the last couple of years called the Magic Boost program, which is bringing in a number of young, talented creators and journalists and folks like the young woman that was introduced, you know, want to be the future storytellers of our sport. So if we could just, at this moment, anybody who's in the current Magic Boost or the squad from last year, would you just stand up and be recognized? Because we want to make sure that you are all known as members of this media. And go tell those great stories, because we have so many of them over the course of this coming weekend. As I mentioned, world records are the flavor and the story of the back half of the schedule on Friday night. Keeping track of the history as it relates to world records set at the Prefontaine Classic, there have been 4, which is kind of a good trivia question if you want to win a bet at the bar, because if you might remember, Moses Mosop, who was the last person to break or set a world best at both 25 and 30 kilometers, did it in the same race. So that's a little bit of a unique one. Mary Decker set the world record in the 5,000 meters back in 1982, and Don Quarry, for many of us a very good friend and legendary Jamaican sprinter, set the 220-yard world record at the Prefontaine Classic back in 1975. So we are hopeful that we may see some more history on the track here on Friday night. And to get our press conference underway, I guess I'll introduce them and then ask them to come to the stage. And the format here is I'll ask them a couple of questions, and then we'd like to open it up for you all to ask some questions of them as well. If the athletes can make themselves available afterwards, please take advantage of that. And obviously, hanging around the hotel this weekend is a good chance to catch up with many of these athletes. The first woman I would like to welcome to the stage from Burundi, 2-time world indoor champion, the Olympic and World Championship silver medalist, and last year's 5th place finisher at the 10,000 meters at the Tokyo Olympic Games, Francine Niyonsaba. At the 5,000 meter distance tomorrow, we're going to see the world record holder try to break the record again. World Championship silver medalist in 2019 in Doha, bronze medalist at the Tokyo Games last year from Ethiopia, Ledasenbet Gede. And the Tokyo gold medalist at 5,000 meters. He was the world champion, so he has his spot secured to come back here at Hayward Field in July to defend his title at 10,000 meters. I think one of the nice story arcs for this young man is he won a World Junior Championship here in Eugene in 2014. So this very much a home track and a home facility for him. Please welcome Joshua Cheptegei of Uganda. Well, welcome everybody. Francine, let me start with you. You had a wonderful start to the season in Doha, winning in that stadium at 3,000 meters. Weren't able to get to Birmingham, so you kind of had your schedule shift a little bit. So how has preparation gone for this 2-mile race on Friday?
Thank you very much. First, I'm so excited to be here. I started well my new season. I did well in Doha. That was an incredible race. As you saw that race, last 200 was phenomenal. It was a fast kick. That was a big win for me of this season.
Can you just talk a little bit about your connection to Eugene? This is a crowd that will know you, will support you, and a chance to run again in Eugene must be special.
Of course, I'm really proud of myself. I'm a home crowd. I've been training here in Eugene, so to be here, I feel I'm home. I'm really happy to be here.
And we're happy you're here. Welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Ledasenbet, welcome to Eugene again.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are as we have witnessed both on the track and on the roads, have been performing very well. This was originally a plan to run 1 hour. Why the decision to change to 5,000?
Yes, before 2 months we prepared for 1 hour, but I need to try my world record 5,000 meter. If the weather condition is good, I'm shape for 5,000 meter. Then we change 1 hour.
Mm-hmm. You've announced that your marathon debut will happen in Valencia at the end of the year. The difference between the roads and the track, do you still love track more than the roads? Has your preference changed?
On all fields, I'm okay. For road and cross country, for track, for all, I'm okay. I'm happy by for all fields, no problem for me.
Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right. Joshua, I mentioned you were here in 2014. As you think about, what would you tell the 2014 Joshua Cheptegei after he won the World Junior Championship? Could you have imagined what you have accomplished so far in your career?
Definitely, I would say Oregon is actually has a special place in my heart. When I remember back in 2014, I came here as a teenager, and I think it was my third international travel. And I can be proud to say that Oregon here and Eugene will always hold a special place in my heart, and it is where my journey started from. And I remember winning the 10K was special, and now I hope that also we could see something special, maybe tomorrow night, maybe also in 6 weeks' time. But always, it is a place where dreams are achieved, and just open for me all the opportunities that I've always conquered in different walks of life in the sport.
You posted on your Instagram a while back about how everything has to go right to break a record. So can you talk about what has to go right? Obviously the time has to be right, but what is it about your preparation for this world record attempt has to be right?
Well, there are a lot of things that you put into comparison. Especially, there has to be a lot of things that come into play. One is the weather element. But of course, I would begin with self-preparation. If you are self-prepared and you are well-prepared, the rest, you cannot have them into your control. Especially with the weather, you never know. We could be having some showers tomorrow. That would be disappointing. But let's hope and let's pray that we have the best weather. But then, the best is to go into the race, have a good feeling. What you can achieve, you say thank you God. But what you cannot achieve, it offers you another platform, another opportunity for the best to come, and remain hopeful.
Francine, are the records important to you?
That is mean a lot. I think, let's say, I'm really proud of myself, how far I came. As you know, to change from 800 to long distance, that was really difficult. So I'm ready to make that margin to happen tomorrow. It will give me more motivation to me, and of course to others around in the world. So I'm really happy to be there tomorrow and to give you a good show. So I think I'm going to enjoy it, and also for you guys. Thank you.
And Letasembet, you have this situation like Joshua where you're going to try to break a record you already have. So you're racing against the best you've ever raced on a day. What do you think you need to do differently tomorrow versus the record-setting race the last time?
Yes, for tomorrow, I did my training. I prepared very well, and I am on good shape. Then, if the weather condition is good, I will decide with my coach. For now, we will see. I will ask for my coach. I will ask for my manager. Then we will decide for tomorrow. But I'm on good way. Thank you.
And does having a very loud crowd help you? Do you like the full stadium and the atmosphere that you'll see tomorrow?
Yes, stadium very nice. This very nice stadium. Yeah. The track is well. I saw last year. It is very nice. But for tomorrow, I don't know how is the weather. I don't know. Then we will see. I'm on good way. Then we will discuss with my coach and with my manager. Then we decide.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know what the weather is. I'm not going to look. I'm just going to cross my fingers. I would invite, I know we have a roaming microphone and the opportunity now afforded to anyone who would like to ask a question of any of these three phenomenal athletes. And if you just identify your affiliation too as well, so we can get that for the record. If you're not wearing a t-shirt that already states it.
Robert Johnson with Let'sRun.com. Joshua, can I ask, should I just do one question or should I?
No, yeah.
The American Grant Fisher, who was fifth in the Olympic 10,000, he has a podcast, and on the podcast he heard that you were not going to be going for the world record. So is that rumor true, or do you plan on attacking your own world record tomorrow night?
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear you well.
Do you plan? An American runner said you may not be going for the world record. He had heard that you would not be going for it. Are you planning to go attack the world record? Is that the plan, or might you go for a different time?
For tomorrow, you mean?
Yes.
The plan is to try and run fast as much as I can. And knowing that I've been actually best prepared in the previous month and leading up to this event, I was in really great shape. So it is still on.
And Francine, I'm curious about your training. When you were an 800-meter runner, how much were you running, and are you running a lot more mileage? Is the training a lot different? Can you talk about that?
That's a big question. I remember when I started to run to train for long distance, was not easy because I need to lose weight. I used to change all my mind. I need to sleep very early. I need to wake up very early. Also, don't forget I have been crying from morning, noon, and evening to that I'm going to make it. But I didn't never lose hope. I went. I was prepared, my mind. To make that decision was not easy. But right now I can say, thank you to God. The decision I made was right. That's why I'm here in front of you. And I know I came from far. And I'm really happy that I never stopped pushing myself to do the best I can. So I worked really hard to be long distance runner. I have to wake up early morning, 6 a.m., 20K. At least I have to run 30K per day. Per week, I have to do like 180, 100 kilometer. So that is so far. And I'm ready for it now. Also a little. It was like 10, 8, different program, but now I can mix, I can run as far as I can.
Yeah. Julian Minensone, KZI 9 News ABC Eugene. Joshua, what does competing in Eugene, in Tracktown, USA, mean to you?
It means really a while to me. When I remember back in 2014, Eugene Akela has the best fans in the world, and he has the best tradition of the sport in athletics. So to come here and just get that feeling with the fans is really amazing. And now we came out from a very difficult period of the pandemic, and I was used to running in empty stadiums, but now luckily I can be able to best enjoy the best atmosphere, and this is Eugene.
Anderson here from Magic Boost and Track and Field Black History. So question for Joshua at first. So Uganda has a pretty deep history, mainly in the sprints, right? And the distances, of course, came along in the past couple years. But my question for you is, who were some of your role models as you were growing up and getting into track and field and running in Uganda?
Well, thank you. I would say that a small brief history about Uganda is that we had Jonah Kibwa winning the first Olympic title in Munich in 1972 in the 400 meters hurdles with a world record. But then we had a lot of insecurity from that time, and we were lucky that there was peace in the country from 1986. But then from there also there was not so much development in the sport, maybe only in boxing. But the biggest transition came in the year 2000 and from 2006 with the likes of Kipra Boniface running in the Commonwealth Games and winning the title. And then 2010, when I was in high school, we had Moses Kipsira winning the double gold in Commonwealth Games in New Delhi. And of course, the biggest was Stephen Kiprotich, whom I call really my role model, when he won the London Olympic Games in the marathon. So that changed everything for us. And now it will still, Akela is still a biggest inspiration to the rest of the young athletes.
Similar question for Francine in terms of Burundi, right? Burundi has a kind of newer history in the sport of track and field, but who were some of your role models as you were growing up?
Excuse me, please.
So who were some of your role models growing up in Burundi, getting yourself into track and field?
Now I'm an ambassador for the people of Burundi, so I have to keep to inspire others. Burundi is a small country without many athletes, but what I'm doing with my effort and achievement, I think it's going to help others, and may also my government to invest in sport. So, yeah.
Anybody else, Jeff? We're good? Oh, we got one back here. Michelle.
Questions for Francine. So when they announced the world record attempt in the 2 mile, it's a formidable record, stood since 2007, 8:58. You ran 9 flat last year, and then they recently introduced a couple of pretty formidable competitors into your race in the form of Sifan Hassan and Coco Klosterhoffen. How did you feel when you found out that these people were going to be in your race, and how do you feel about your training going into it?
You know, my perseverance and determination is all about being what am I to bounce, to be back in the athletics and keep moving forward. So when I'm running, I'm there as me and compete on myself. I don't think others. But to have a good competitive, it makes me strong, of course. I was a newcomer in long distance, but what I have achieved is an incredible, you know, and of course, you guys, you knew, no one was believing me that I can make it from 800 to long distance. But me, I knew it took me a time to be back. That's why I'm in front of you. So I'm really happy to be here. Yeah.
So your current world record's about 4:02 per mile. How hard is it to find pacers to help you for a world record attempt? And are they training partners of yours, or where do you find the pacers? And how far will they go in the race?
Well, this is actually one of the most difficult situations I find myself in, because I'm racing my own world record. And now the other biggest obstacle is that, everybody is trying to achieve his own dream. And also it's difficult to find now pacers. One of my pacers actually had a debut in the marathon running a 2:04 in Hamburg. So now I'm on my own trying to find new challenges. So I hope that tomorrow I can relate with new people. And of course, even mentally, I know it's something different. But I trust that whatever the outcome, I will be really great. But also, 12:35 is not actually a mean achievement. It is one of those things that I try to think what I did in the previous 2 years and what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'm still trying to contemplate and try to see if I can really change some things into my control. But I will be grateful for the people who want to pace me tomorrow. Whatever the result, I'll always, shout out to them, because it's not easy to find pacers.
Sam Ferris from Magic Boost. Latessenbet and Francine, what does it mean to be women representing your country at such a big stage?
It means that I told you I'm now ambassador of my Republic of Burundi. So to be here it's pushing me to working hard. I'm alone in Burundi and the top athletes in my country. So I have to dream big and put my work hard and to think far. So it means a lot. Tomorrow, if I'm going to make that magic to happen, so it will be other thing, and it will give me also my confidence to keep moving forward, to keep also to inspire others in my country. Yeah.
I think it's my turn. Joshua, just following up from the question earlier, you were talking about the people that inspired you. I know that you've been involved in building a track back at home in Uganda and really trying to kind of foster the next generation. How important is it for you to be a role model yourself and leading the way for the next generation?
Well, it's actually very important. I remember growing up as a young kid, we never had most of these facilities and of course mentors. And I try to be the best role model and example to the rest of the young generation. Well, I started a foundation and I'm supporting now most of the athletes in my region. And the first fruits, most of them are going to compete in Colombia for the World Juniors. So hopefully I'm proud that I can pass on the baton to the next generation of athletes.
All right, well, thanks for all those questions. Thanks to the three of you for joining us today. We'll give a hand to Francine Niansaba, Joshua Cheptegei, and Latessenbet. Good day.
Thank you.
So we'll invite these athletes to exit the stage. We'll be in transition here for a moment, and we'll have, would you like a photo? I didn't see the formal rules, but we'll make that happen. Thank you. Thank you. As they transition, if you're keeping a running stat of world records in the new Hayward Field or reimagined Hayward Field, we had 2 at the Olympic trials last year. One, of course, has since been broken when the women's 400-meter hurdles world record was set, and Ryan Krauser, who will be here on Saturday, setting the world record on his native soil, Oregon born and raised, set the world record in the men's shot put. All right, I see Grant and Joe making their way up, so we'll let them get here. Guys meet in the middle and do a handshake or something like that. All right, as we mentioned, I don't really consider this an undercard because I know there's a lot of eager anticipation for these domestic races on the card on Friday. USA Track and Field hosting the 10,000 meter trials to field their team for Oregon 22. I guess I have to wish everybody a happy 50-day day. 50 days now before the start of Oregon 22. I'll introduce the two athletes, ask a few questions, same format as before. We'll start with Grant Fisher from Nike and the Bowerman Track Club, 5th place finisher in Tokyo at the 10,000 meter distance, and has had a reasonably successful few months on the track, an American record indoors at 5,000 and then 10,000 meters as well. I'm not going to say pending ratification. I saw the race. I think he did it, so it's official in my book. And Joe Klecker from the On Athletics Club. He was 3rd at the Olympic trials last year and made his Olympic debut in Tokyo, where he finished 16th in that 10,000 meter race, and both of whom were contesting here to make the team once again to represent the U.S., this time on home soil. Unfortunately, women who are involved in tomorrow's race were not able to join us for this press conference, so we're going to focus here, but I think there are, and we'll talk about the construct of you guys training inside of clubs, because there are some athletes representing the On Athletics Club and Bowerman Track Club that'll be vying for those berths on the women's side as well. But for both of you, let's start with this idea of getting the chance to make a team where you get to be the home team. Never happened before in a world championship. And Grant, we'll start with you. I mean, I'm sure for both of you, so much to make the team last year and represent on foreign soil, but what would it mean to you to be able to do that here close to home?
Yeah, it would mean a lot. My team is based in Portland, Oregon, so not too far from here. So even this meet kind of feels like home soil. So yeah, it's a different opportunity. You know, both Joe and I were honored to represent the U.S. in Tokyo, and unfortunately, none of our friends and family that really wanted to go could watch us. So this will be cool. Friends and family can drive, and I think it'll be a pretty nice atmosphere in the new Hayward Field. So very excited for the opportunity. Obviously, a lot of steps need to be done to make it there, but it's a great opportunity. I'm excited.
And Joe, having had that experience of making a team now, you've kind of removed that from the checklist of things I need to get used to. So how has that experience prepared you and helped you for this year?
Yeah, I mean, going into the trials a year ago, making the team was truly a dream. I mean, I didn't really totally expect that I'd be making my first Olympic team at 25 years old. And then, you know, checking that off the list going into this year, I mean, that's truly the standard on our team, is representing your country at the world stage. And so I'm definitely going in with a lot more confidence and realizing that, you know, making the team isn't the dream. That's kind of the bar that we've set on our club in Boulder.
And sticking with you for a second, it's been a while since we've seen you run a full race on a track. You were dealing with a little bit of some injury issues over the indoor season. Just take us through kind of the road back and where you feel you're at.
Yeah, so I've been fortunate enough in my career to have to take very few days off due to injury, and so at the end of 2021, I came down with a bit of an injury in December and had to work back from that. And knowing that tomorrow was always the goal, I had to set aside a lot of fun opportunities, a lot of races that maybe if I was totally healthy and fit, I would want to do. But again, just having tomorrow's race on the calendar and realizing that's always the goal, is to be able to make a U.S. team. I just had to focus on that. And yeah, I've only raced twice here in 2022, but I've already PR'd in the 5K, which I didn't expect to do. And so I think I'm coming into form very well. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
And Grant, you've had a couple of notable PRs in the races in Boston and then down in California at 10,000 meters. What do you feel like reflecting on both those races? What's been clicking for you that gives you the confidence to go after those records?
Honestly, the guys I train with, I'm lucky enough to train with the defending Olympic silver medalist in the 5K. So that'd be Mohamed. But he's been a mentor for me since I joined the team. And when you have a guy like that in your back door, just like that you can train with every day, it builds your confidence. I mean, even just finishing workouts with him, it builds confidence that I'm ready to compete at the next level. And there aren't too many people faster than Mo right now, so it's definitely confidence building having a team around you. So yeah, we had a great camp in Flagstaff this winter. Was feeling confident, and I felt like I was in a good place fitness-wise, and felt that you don't get into great shape super often, and you never know what the future is going to hold with injuries or anything. So wanted to attack some records while I had the chance, and was fortunate to have them go my way. But it's a long season, and the focus is definitely in the coming days, months, and weeks. So hopefully that was a good springboard, and definitely a good confidence boost going into championship season.
I think as we all find ways to get the sport more relevancy, the fact that these two teams you represent have kind of created success in the case of On, right out of the gate, and obviously the heritage with the Bowerman Track Club. But I also feel like you guys understand the power of showing your personality and being out there and showcasing what you guys are doing, not only the days that you're racing, but also the days you're training. You kind of became a viral sensation yourself with the resistance band videos. Can you just talk about how that evolved, and maybe for folks who don't know a little bit about it, what was the inspiration for that one?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it viral quite, but yeah, I do a lot of activation drills for my hips to keep them, to get them ready to run. And some people that run the Bowerman Instagram account were up at Flagstaff during a camp and had a bunch of videos of me doing these ridiculous exercises before runs and posted them. And yeah, people from all over the world started doing these band exercises, which was kind of funny. But I mean, to your larger point, yeah, I think the team model has been very beneficial for me, especially in distance running. You need guys around you. I wouldn't say Joe or I are like lone wolf types. It's nice to have people to push you in workouts, the easy days. There's days that you don't want to do it, and guys get you out the door. And the people I train with have become some of my best friends. So it's been great. And to your second point, we don't race very often, so it is a tough sport to follow sometimes. So to have that group around and some social media and some video and some podcast, I do think it's good for, high schoolers, middle schoolers, college kids to see what goes on behind the scenes and maybe create more of a narrative than just a post-race interview every couple months. So, yeah, the team model's been great for me.
And Joe, you guys are just coming off a pretty fun photo shoot I saw, going a little retro with the team. It really just kind of, again, showcases the camaraderie, and all the things that, Mr. Fisher just said. So just expand on that. You guys are a relatively new team. How has the bonding and the success happened so quickly? What do you think the formula is there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that On has done a great job of showcasing us not just as athletes, but us as individuals. I mean, you watch us race and you might get a sense of who we are as people, but really, until you listen to us talk, listen to our stories, listen to our backgrounds, you don't really know who the athletes are. And so I give a lot of credit to On for showcasing that with us. But yeah, we had a pretty fun photo shoot. We released a magazine with New Gen Track and Field at the Soundtrack meeting. It was a huge hit. I mean, after the race, we were signing autographs for a good hour, taking photos, and just hearing people drive 2, 3, 4 hours just to come watch us race. And that was truly a big moment for me, just to take it all in and realize wow, these people really care about our sport and they care about what we're doing. And I think that, yeah, like Grant was saying, the team model has certainly played into that, because yeah, you're a lone wolf doing your own thing, but when you have this team and you can really highlight those personalities, it's pretty cool, because yeah, we're not just runners, we have lives and we're real people. So it's really cool that On has showcased that for us.
And maybe would you give just one shout out to a teammate in the case of Alicia, who's going to be running tomorrow, and prospects for maybe getting a couple people on the team?
Yeah, no, Alicia's like crazy fit. I mean, honestly, a lot of times she could probably be doing my workouts, and so I got to be on the ball, or else she's going to be rolling me up, and so watch out for her tomorrow. She's going to have a great race.
And Grant, I think there might be 1, 2, 10 Bowerman Track Club women tomorrow.
Yeah. We have Carissa lining up tomorrow. She's coming into great form. Had surgery not too long ago, so there's some question marks. But she's done really well to respond to adversity and a tough timeline with the U.S. champs being moved up a month. So I think she's in great form. That's a good place to be when you feel like you're gaining fitness every day. So I think she's in that place right now. So I think she'll have a good one tomorrow.
And is it easier to race in a venue where at 10,000 meters you got to grind out all those laps, but there are people who are engaged and they're looking at the laps and the splits, and they're educated and into it? Just the experience of being able to do a championship race here at Hayward again with people.
Yeah. I mean, Hayward's a great place to race. I grew up watching YouTube videos of people racing here, and had NCAAs here, Pac-12s here, U.S. champs here, trials, and it's kind of the mecca of running for the U.S. I mean, you can make an argument for the world, and it's always energizing to have a crowd where every time you come around, they're clapping or stomping or they're paying attention and they know what they're watching. Even in a tactical race where people might get bored and it's a little slower, I think the crowds here have a good appreciation for the sport, which is fun. So I hope the environment's great tomorrow. I hope to kick things off for those big 5Ks later, and hope to have a good one.
The fact you just said you grew up watching YouTube videos makes me feel really old really quickly, so not even going to go into my VHS collection here. So, Jeff, do you want to transition maybe and get some questions from the audience?
Hello. Hi. This is Johnny Pace. I'm here with Magic Boost. Thank you guys for being here. So I'm actually, I graduated college the same year as you guys. I was a Virginia runner, and it's been really awesome. I remember just following your progress back in high school, 2015, 2019, and it's been really amazing to see you both continue that upward trajectory. And I think, there's a lot of factors that go into continuing success, and I'm curious, what things have kept you guys on the right path, that continue to enjoy the sport, staying healthy, that have allowed you to do this now for over a decade,
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is teammates. I went to a university where I was surrounded by greatness and a great history, and you want to contribute to that. And then being able to start a team in Boulder and bring in some great athletes who push you every day. I mean, it motivates you. Like when you are seeing like Ollie Hoare racing up front in the Diamond League races, you just want to be up there doing that as well. And so like seeing those athletes and training with those athletes definitely just pushes you, and that's, I guess, what keeps me going at least.
I'd echo the teammates bit, and also say mentors. When I was a kid, my parents always told me to surround yourself by good people that look out for you and have your best interest in mind. And I was lucky enough to have that in high school, in university, and now as a professional. Sometimes it's hard to see the big picture when you're in the moment and you're the athlete and you just want to do more and more and train harder and harder. But when you're a kid, maybe that's not the best thing. So good to have good mentors, people looking out for you, people that have been in the sport longer than you, that can give you good perspective when things go well or when things go poorly. I think it's good to have that support.
Dave Ross with Ross Running. So you have teammates in the race, and in your 10,000 meter American record attempt, you had guys pacing you. Sam Atkin took you through 5K and Woody through 7K. Do you guys have a plan going in, like team tactics? Have you talked about that at all, sort of pacing?
Yeah, we've spoken about it. I don't think it'd be a very good plan if I said it right now. Yeah, we have 4 guys in the race, which is another interesting dynamic. There's 3 spots that we're fighting for, and 4 guys that have been doing all steps of training together. So even on sunshine and rainbows, perfect day, at least one person would be a bit disappointed with the result. So, you have a fine balance of working together and also, wanting the best result for yourself. When we picture the U.S. Championship and a U.S. 10K team, you picture your teammates on the team, but you also picture yourself on the team. So we certainly have spoken about tactics and stuff, and hopefully it plays out tomorrow in our advantage. But there's a reason we run the race, so we'll see what happens.
Cole Pressler with Magic Boost. Joe, what has it meant to your parents to see you have so much recent success on the track, especially as you've moved up in distance a little bit, not quite to the marathon, what they were running, but, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been really fun for them. They're getting to kind of relive it all again. I would just grow up and hear stories about them traveling all over the world, racing all over the world, my mom running on the Olympic team. And so now that I'm doing it, it's just, I think, been really fun for them to be able to travel to some of my races and to, just to kind of relive that again. But from a different lens, they don't have to race themselves, but they get to cheer me on and be there for me and offer me a lot of good advice along the way. And so maybe that's a little advantage I have. Having that mentorship from them has been super beneficial for me. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing is that they've just enjoyed being along the ride and trying not to offer me too much advice, but certainly being there when I need them is super helpful.
Cityus Mag. So my question is, as we mentioned earlier, your guys' championships got moved up a month early, but you're also in a unique situation where you guys get to have your U.S. championships here at the Prefontaine Classic. What were your guys' thoughts and feelings finding out that you guys got moved up a month earlier, but then also finding out that it would be here at Pre?
It was kind of a shock at first. I haven't been in the sport for too long, but haven't really heard of a time where the U.S. champs had the 10K separate from the rest of the championships. I'm planning on coming back and running the 5 at the U.S. champs, so ultimately, splitting the 10 and the 5 is advantageous for me. I'll be fresh for the 5K later, whereas if we mirrored the World Championship schedule, I would be coming back and be a bit tired. So a bit advantageous. It will be cool. There'll be a little more focus on the 10, I feel like. Hopefully less commercial breaks because it'll be a bit more of a standalone meet. But I think it'll be fun. It'll be a nice little experiment. I don't know what the plan is for future years, but maybe if this goes great and everyone loves it, the 10K will always be separate. I know there's several countries that use this model. So, the change to moving it about 3-4 weeks before, it altered our season a little bit. It just compresses things a little bit. You don't have as much time to build up and maybe hit a bunch of smaller invitationals building up to the championships because you have to be pretty tuned up to make this team. So we adapted and shaped a plan around this. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I would say for myself, I raced the Prefontaine Classic a year ago, and it was such a great experience. It was great fans, and so when I found out the 10K was going to be held in conjunction with it, I was very excited knowing that, you're going to have good fans, people that know the sport. It's going to be, like Grant said, a bit more of a focus having it a month earlier. But also from the athlete's health perspective, a 10K is a lot to recover from. My teammate Alicia ran herself into the hospital before Tokyo last year making the team, and it was to get back from the hospital to racing the Olympics a few weeks later is extremely hard. And so to have more time to recover is super beneficial for the athlete getting ready for the World Championships. And ultimately, making the U.S. team is great, but representing on the world stage is what USATF cares about. It's what we care about. And so I think that this is a very good model to set athletes up for success.
Tierra Williams, Magic Boost, and Real Talk. I don't know why I stood up, but coming from being an NCAA athlete to going professional, I feel like track becomes a little more individual. So training with the group, does it help bring the team aspect back, and do y'all like that environment?
I would say that for me, I'm in my college town still, training with a new team, but a team nonetheless. And it feels very much the same. And I think that a lot of athletes have success in college, training with their teams, and then, like you said, it becomes very individual, and maybe athletes start to fall off. Maybe they lose focus or lose that guidance of having a team around them. And so I think that the model that a lot of brands are following, like with Nike and On, creating that team atmosphere, just trying to mirror, setting up that system for athlete success that they had in college is super important. And I mean, for us at On, it's been great.
Yeah, I'd echo that 100%. I had a great experience in college. Loved my college team. Some of my best friends are people I met on the team. And as a professional, I think in distance running, if you look at most successful distance runners over the past maybe 5-10 years, they've all come out of group training settings. When you start running 100 miles a week, when you start hitting really hard workouts 2-3 times a week, it's really hard to do on your own. You need people around you that can lift you up, and I think the group achieves much more than the individual can by themselves. So I think On has done a great job over the past 1.5 to 2 years of adopting that model and making it work, and Nike has a rich history of supporting groups, and I could see that being the trend for years to come. It's been great for me. I guess I can only speak on my experience. But I think it'll be the model for a while.
The 10K is a very, 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 very long race. So what are some things that go on in y'all's mind during competition?
Man. Yeah, it is a long race. It's a long time to hurt. Yeah, there's a lot of time in your own head. There's a lot of time to talk yourself out of things, a lot of time to doubt yourself. But you really have to find a way to master your mind and calm it down and realize that the race isn't won usually 2K in or 3K in or 4K in. It's won at the end. So you have to have a fine balance of paying attention enough to make sure no moves are being made that blow up the race or anything, but also just quieting your mind, shutting things down, because the time to race is probably in 20 minutes, not immediately. So. Yeah, a balance of paying attention, being sharp, and also not overthinking things, not talking yourself out.
A question for Grant. You've got the American record. You were 5th in the Olympics. I think that kind of makes you the favorite for tomorrow's 10,000 meters. But we'll point out that you did not win the Olympic trials last year. Your teammate Woody Kincaid outkicked you. He's got a great kick. We were actually looking at the splits, even indoors. I know you guys were in different heats, but he had a better last 200 than you did. Are you fearful of his kick, and or do you plan on sort of trying to break him before the last lap or so?
Well, Woody's my teammate, but yeah, Woody has an exceptional kick. He's a gamer. He shows up when it counts, and he is someone to be very respectful of with a lap to go. He can really wind it up and surprise people. So, yeah, if Woody's ever around with a lap to go, he's always going to be in it. And, yeah, Woody is the defending champ, so respect has to go there. I know he's going to show up tomorrow and be on it. I've seen his training over the past several months, and he's ready to go. He's in form. So, yeah, I mean, for Woody, for anyone in the field, I think it's foolish to not be respectful and count anyone out. Anyone can show up on the day. It's a 10K. A lot can go right, a lot can go wrong, and people can surprise a whole field. So you have to be ready for anything. Woody especially, he can be a bit of a wild card out there. But yeah, it'll be fun racing with him again.
Anybody else, Jeff? We're good? All right, well, the women's race starts our evening at 7:30. The men will follow 45 minutes later at 8:15, and then we'll have those, the 2 mile and the 2 5,000, so it should be a wonderful night. I want to thank both Grant Fisher and Joe Klecker for joining us here. We'll do the photo op. You're welcome. And then a reminder that we'll gather back here tomorrow at 11 a.m., where we'll focus on the Saturday program. Catherine Mary will be joining me. She's winging her way here from across the Atlantic. So thanks for your time, attention, and your questions, and we'll see you around and see you tomorrow for day 2's pre-press conference.
Thank you, guys.